haven't met a lot of you, but I work at UAI as well, but I usually work with the middle schoolers. So hi to all the middle schoolers and hi to the high schoolers. I'm excited to finally get to speak with you and about healthy relationships. So that's a good thing. But happy early Valentine's Day and happy early break. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get started. It's going to be a quick, I'm only going to be with you guys for a little bit, but bear with me. We have some good things planned. So I'm going to share my screen and yeah, let's get started. Okay, let me share with you all. Okay, so welcome to our Healthy Relationships PowerPoint hosted by Girls Inc. And if you don't hang out with us, I encourage you all to hang out with us later. I'm gonna plug in Girls Inc. after school. We're a fun time. I'm a fun time. Miss Wilma's a fun time. Miss Bree is a fun time. So come join us, please. And some of you already hang out with me, so that's good. All right, so for our check-in, really quickly in the chat, I just wanna know how you're feeling right now, 1 through 100. So we got a big range here, and I know it's Thursday, so hopefully you're feeling good, but give me a number. I got 55, 77, that's pretty good. Anything above the 50s, 75, 75, 83. Yes, okay, so we're feeling good. 13, who's a 13? I need to change that. 90, 63, we got 100, I have to see a couple hundreds. Okay. A 1. Shania, why are you a 1? How can I fix that?
You have 1,000 too. Extra special.
So much better. I would love the 1,000. Not 13, 50. I'm very tired. Okay, that makes sense. That's fine. You can be tired. I get that. It's the end of the week. I'm pretty tired too. 10. Okay, yeah, tired. 58. 100. Who's Charles? Charles is 100. Okay, so we're feeling decent here. I see a couple 50s. Hopefully by the end we can work our way up from 50. Oh, my BFF. Okay. Well, if your BFF is 100, then hopefully they can make you 100 as well. Anyone else? How many people we got in here? There's like a good amount of us in here. I feel like I got most of our things. Okay. All right. And if anyone wanted to say anything as well, I welcome anyone to turn their mics on, speak, please. If you know me, I love to talk, but I'd love to hear you talk as well. So yeah, please use your mic. Miss Wilma's right. I have a very loud and commanding voice, but I'd love to hear you all as well. Okay, so for our icebreaker, since we're starting off with healthy relationships, I think, and not just healthy relationships, but February 14th, right? No matter what that day means to you. Oh my gosh, where is that writing coming from? Let's see if I can get rid of that. Maybe not.
Wilma, if you guys, I'm sorry to interrupt. Listen, nobody should be touching their screens right now. It's completely disrespectful. Miss Wilma, if you're able to block the annotation, it's on your part, but I don't want to see that. All right.
I'd love not to have writing on the screen, but the color is kind of similar to the theme.
Miss Wilma, can you make me host for a second?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. Give me
Thank you.
1 minute. No problem.
Well, if you guys can still read underneath the writing, the icebreaker was just drop in the chat or get out some writing and basically. All right. Does anyone know what some of these are? I know the middle schoolers know what Don't Yuck My Yum is, but can someone explain to me what that is? Yeah, 6th grade can make you feel old if you're in high school. Absolutely. Be kind, be supportive. Can anyone else add anything before we move on to what this space means for all of us? Or do we agree with this? Give me like a smiley face in the chat if we're good with this. Or a thumbs up. Thanks, Jen. Thank you, Miss Bree. Thank you, Jamie and Kiki. Okay, perfect. Okay, got it. Thank you for letting me know.
My old school used to say "Don't yuck my yum," because
Yeah, what do you think that means?
because everybody has different taste of stuff. Like I like pickles with ice cream. It tastes really good. But Charlie here thinks that's disgusting. Everybody's taste buds are different. So
Yes.
that keep us good.
Yes, thank you. Perfect. Exactly. There's some things that we think are good that others might not, but we're not gonna put it in the chat and be like, oh my gosh, that's disgusting. Like, I love pickles, but other people don't love pickles. It's controversial. We don't want to say that we don't like certain things. Yes, agreed. Yes, thank you for helping, guys. That was a perfect response. Okay, so we're gonna move on. Thank you all for understanding. And so we're gonna watch a quick video, and this is just gonna kind of preface what healthy versus unhealthy relationships are in the simplest of terms. The simplest. So it's 2 minutes. It's really quickly. And if you have any questions, make sure to ask. So we're going to play this really quickly. Let's make sure we keep the chat respectful and yeah.
Oh, you won't believe the day I've had. It was so terrible. Casey, who's supposed to be my best friend, promised me that we'd go to the mall after school. Later, she texted me that she couldn't go, so I went with Nicole, my almost best friend, instead. But then, at the mall, just next to the food court, you won't believe who I saw. That's right, Casey. And she was with Nathan, her new boyfriend. Ugh, I hate her. I'm so lucky I have you. You're such a good listener. Now that you're in your teens, you may feel like you want to spend less time with your family and more time with your friends. During this time, some of your friendships may deepen while others might fade away. And some of your friendships may even become romantic. Being in a healthy relationship, whether a friendship or a romantic relationship, can be fun, but it can also be complicated. So here are some rules to follow to make sure your friendships are healthy. In a healthy relationship, each person supports and encourages the other. Real friends want to know what you're thinking and feeling, and they'll be interested in what you have to say. It's okay to have disagreements, even in a healthy relationship, but it's important to do so respectfully and talk openly about it with each other. Sometimes in a relationship, you'll need to compromise. But in a healthy relationship, the same person should not be the one who always compromises. It's important for both people to give and take. Finally, it's important to treat your relationships with care. And if a friend or romantic partner makes you feel small, teases you, or physically or sexually pushes you into doing things that you don't really want to do, then this might not be a healthy relationship for you. Remember, a healthy relationship, whether just a friendship or a romantic relationship, should make you feel good about yourself and who you are. After all, you are pretty great. Okay, so enough about me. How was your day? Till next time, don't forget to visit me at amaze.org or go to my YouTube channel to watch.
Okay. So what did we think about that? I know some of you had already seen it, and if you've already seen it, what did you take away from it? It was a very broad overview, but I would love to know, kind of following these questions, what do you think the whole video was about specifically? And yeah, I want to see your faces too. So if you put your camera on, you get extra credit apparently.
Extra credit, do it.
Specifically towards those 8th graders. Anyone have some takeaway points from this? What you noticed or anything you agree with or disagree with potentially in a relationship? Yeah, thoughts. Maybe how much you agreed, a smiley face if you think it was important. And if not, I'd love to know why.
There's a hand up, Miss Gabrielle.
Oh, yes. Kai. Sorry, I'm learning how to use host access. I don't see it all the time.
When it said that even healthy relationships can have argument, I felt like that was a good takeaway because sometimes people automatically think that once you get into an argument, it's a toxic relationship or something, but it's just how you handle it.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Such a good point. Agreed. It's how you handle that relationship and what's presented with you, right? Yes, agreed. Anyone else have any takeaways from it? And you can disagree. Like if there's things that you don't feel is accurate in a relationship, by all means speak up. Relationships are tricky, right?
I have a question for people. What do you guys think about this idea of, your friends trying to lift you up and, right, wanting the best for you? Because sometimes I talk to you guys and it's like your friends want you to do something that you're not sure about or put you in a position that's maybe not the best for you. And so how do you handle situations like that? Sorry, my dog's freaking out.
Relationships are tricky but worth it. Yes, thank you, Marnie. Exactly, they are. Because if you have someone supporting you, right, what's better than that? Having a friendship or a relationship where they're constantly there for you. Absolutely. Leandra, just say no.
Leandra, can you talk more about that though? Can you unmute yourself if you're brave? Because that's sometimes hard to do. So how do you say no to somebody in a situation?
See, I'm different from like different people. So like if someone tells me to do something that I don't want to do, I honestly just straight up say no. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. That's it. Not gonna talk about it no more. I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah, be confident in your decision, right? If you feel like you don't want to do it or you don't agree with it, be confident in that. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate that. Naturally, yes, if you have a question, go ahead. And so I will talk with my friends, maybe said the reason why I'm not in agreement. Yeah, give them a reason, right? You don't always have to give someone a reason for why you don't want to, give them that, but sometimes that's important to have a chat about it. Absolutely. And this is for UAI middle school and high school. So we have a wonderful group of ladies in here. Big group. Anyone else about the video have any points to that? Do you notice any similarities in your relationships or things that you think are important when it comes to friendship? No? Okay. Well, thank you for watching. That was just a preface, what we're kind of diving more into.
Oh, you won't believe the day I've had.
No, you don't need to watch it again. Okay, so kind of the main point, relationships, healthy versus unhealthy. Could I have someone please read the healthy side of what a relationship is? Yeah, go ahead, Milan.
Equality, respect, communication, trust, responsibility and accountability, support, boundaries, non-threatening behavior.
Yes, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And then can someone read the unhealthy side of what a relationship could look like? Some of those
Can
words?
I do it?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Lack of communication, dishonesty, disrespect, dependence, jealousy, manipulation, criticism, isolation, constant fighting.
Yes. Does anyone have any thoughts just after reading those, like some words that really stand out to you that maybe you like or dislike when it comes to relationships? Janai, I see that your hand's up. Would you like to?
One thing that sticks out to me is disrespect, because like in a lot of relationships and friendships, that's like the one big one I see every time, especially in friend groups I don't even know of. So disrespect.
Yes, thank you. Disrespect. We don't want disrespect in our relationships. I see that Nisa said gaslighting. Could you explain more of what that is? That's a new term that's really important as well. Could you explain?
Gaslighting is kind of like manipulation, but it's like a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
Like gaslighting is kind of like, you're telling someone, like someone's telling someone, something that they're going through, and then like the person would say, oh, but we're in the midst of a pandemic, you're okay, da 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 da. It's also basically just toxic positivity. It's like, you can also say that.
Yes, thank you so much. Gaslighting is huge and it's a problem. Absolutely, thank you. And I hope none of you have to experience that in a relationship. Kimora, I see that your hand is raised. Go ahead and speak.
Hello.
Hi.
What was the question again?
I was just saying what words stood out to you, whether that be something you disliked or liked about these words in a relationship.
Oh, manipulation.
Mm,
That stood out to me because, it's a lot of cases where people could be like manipulated at times and not know that they're being manipulated, you know?
yeah. Sometimes it takes like outside people to help you recognize that. Absolutely. I see the word trust stood out to me because your friends have to really trust your friends to have your back. Trust is huge, right? We need trust in our relationships. If we don't trust the person we're talking to, how are we going to rely on them and how are they going to rely on us? Absolutely. Thank you. Anyone else? Janelle said, I think I'm the type of person that isolates myself when I start feeling for someone. Yeah, that's really common. And we don't want to isolate ourselves, right? A relationship, a healthy relationship is support. And, that's really important. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Anyone else want to add to that? Any words that stand out to them or that they really feel are important in a relationship? We never want jealousy, manipulation, criticism. I think
I got one.
Yeah, absolutely, Kiki. Go ahead.
Disrespect, because let's say if you're talking and you don't let the other person talk, and it's not fair, because then when they start talking, you're gonna interrupt them or do something, and that's not right.
Yes, no disrespect. We don't want disrespect. Yeah, thank you, Kiki. That's important. Anyone else before I move on one-sided love, Leandra? Yeah, you don't want one-sided love. If you go back to the healthy side of what a relationship looks like, you want equality. You want to be equal with whoever you're hanging out with and confiding in. Absolutely. Janelle, yes, go ahead. I see that your hand is raised.
Okay, so I don't think anybody's gonna agree with me, but I think disrespect belongs in a healthy relationship because sometimes you have to be that type of person to tell your partner how to act. Because sometimes they don't know if they're doing the wrong thing, and you have to tell them that they're doing that.
I think that's a good point. I think at first I was like, oh, interesting point. But then it's like sometimes you have to speak your mind, right? I don't know if I got that directly, but sometimes you kind of got to stand up for yourself. And yeah, maybe not disrespect like fully, like a disrespect, but kind of in a nice way. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think that's a good point. Leandra, you have your hand up. Thank you, Janelle.
Yeah, like what Janelle said, that is correct. Because even in a healthy relationships, there are going to be arguments that's going to happen. But it's always good to forgive and forget about what happens.
Yes, love it. Forgive and forget. That's huge. Thank you for bringing that up. I think that's really important. You have those conversations, you speak your mind, and then you can hopefully both agree on it after. Yeah. Nisa, I see that your hand's raised. Go for it.
I want to talk about like dependence a little bit because like a few months ago, I was like a really, 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 really dependent person. Like I would depend on people for like my happiness, like how I was feeling, even to the point where I depend on people to do my homework and stuff. And it was just horrible because like the same people I was depending on stuff for were the same people who I really like didn't really want to hold on to that long, but it's like I depend on them on so much stuff that I couldn't, or that it would be very difficult for me to cut them off.
Yeah.
So then like dependence just makes you want to hold on to a toxic person. Which was really hard for me to do. And then when I started doing stuff like on my own, I stopped relying on other people for stuff I should do by myself or like on my own. It was easy for me to cut them off.
Yes. I love to hear that. Yes, absolutely. Dependence. We don't want to rely on that person. Like, yes, we want trust and equality, but we're all unique in our own ways, right? Like we each have our own personalities that we want to be independent and be able to do things on our own, but have someone for that extra support when we need it. Absolutely. Thank you, Nisa. That's really important. And that's good that you realize that, right? Dependency is on that unhealthy side of relationships. You don't want to fully be dependent on your person. I agree. Thank you. Anyone else before we move on? Have a point they really want to make, they're dying to make? Okay, we'll move on. Thank you all for sharing. Those were really, really important points. Okay, so we kind of just talked about that. What words were important to you? So looking at these, are there certain words, this is just a little bit different phrase of a question. What words do you think would describe your relationship based on that list? if you're thinking of your friendships right now, do you have certain words that are on this list that describe your friendships, your relationships right now?
Trust, respect, support, responsibility, and accountability, and one more, but I can't.
That's good. I'm glad you have all those words in your relationship. Sounds like a good friendship. Yeah.
We're both gamers, so we love it.
And we play Roblox.
Yeah.
You guys
we
share
play
something in common.
Lots
That's
of Roblox.
awesome. And also, are there any words that aren't on this list that you think describe your relationship as well? I see crazy. Yeah, you know, you gotta have crazy friends.
We are actually really crazy. Like, if you put us together, we will be the craziest people on earth. But we're also like, he's sensitive. I'm not.
Yes, I agree. Thank you. I'm
Oh,
seeing
you don't know Sonic, so.
We both like Sonic. He likes Sonic.
Yeah, that's good. I see a lot of good things on here. Communication, trust, support. Sounds like you guys have really good friendships and relationships. Yeah, absolutely. Support and communication. I see that a lot. The communication, we can't talk to our partners and our friends. How are you going to relate? How are you going to have a good time if you can't talk and communicate? Yes, and have your back. Absolutely. Crackhead in a good way. You know, the craziness, right? Yeah, we want fun. We want a fun time in our relationship. Absolutely. Are there any words that you guys think aren't on here that you want to add as well? No. All right. Yeah. So we want fun. We want trust, communication, respect, empathy. Yes. Elena, empathy. Yes. Empathy is huge. Absolutely. What do you guys think when you're thinking of your relationships? Are there any things that are important that you think that would need to change? If you could put a word in there that you need in your relationship, what word would you want to add to that? And it can be from this list. If you don't have it, what would it be? To have each other's backs. Yes. That support. I don't know if I'm going to say your name right. Wadia? Do you want to? Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So, for me, I don't have any word. I think, if your friends tell you what is your mistake and they don't hide it from you, then they're a really good friend. I mean, true friends.
Yeah, they're gonna call you out, right? But in a nice way. Yeah, if they're not gonna call out your mistakes, then maybe they're not for you. You want friends that can be honest with you. Encouragement. Yes, Nashley, thank you. That makes us better when they can help us and be honest with us and encourage us. Adriana, I see that your hand's up. Go for it.
Like saying like to encourage people for like a healthy relationship, because you don't wanna be with someone that's not gonna treat you well.
Yes.
And that's gonna treat you disrespectfully, but you want to be treated the right way. If you're in a kind of relationship like that, you should leave it as soon as you can, because if you're gonna be with it, you don't know how to treat other people like the way you want to be treated anymore if you're gonna be in the same.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick, but Charles is gonna stay here.
Okay. Yes, thank you for sharing. That was really important. I agree. And then really quick, we're gonna move on, but I see that Nisa, you have your hand up as well. Would you like to add to that?
No, I just want to say like another unhealthy thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, what was it?
You wanted to add another kind of word that you think is unhealthy?
I don't really have a word for it, but it's like when you want, like, I don't like people who want a friend who have the exact same mindset as them.
Yes.
Like, I don't really like that, because it's like they don't really like, like if someone doesn't think the exact same way that they think, like, oh, they're a bad person, something like that. Like, I just think it's better to have friends who have more diverse mindsets, because let's say if you're going through something, that person is probably not going to help you as much because they don't have a different mindset, because you have to look at things from different ways. So if you're talking to someone who thinks about stuff the same way, you're not really going to get anywhere.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Huge point. Yeah. You're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to grow. Growing is huge. Yeah. Thank you. That was really important. Thanks, Nisa. And sorry, I was reading chat. The chat is really important. You guys have a lot of things. Independent thinking. You don't want to feel small in your relationship. I saw generosity. Yeah, those are huge. Those are so important.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Okay, so really quickly, the last thing we're gonna do is just discuss really quickly a scenario. Can someone read this for me? Or maybe the first paragraph and then hand it off to someone? Janaya, yes, please. And then Kai could go next if you don't want to read the whole thing.
Okay. Although they hang out a lot, Naomi still feels she can't really measure up to what Riley wants from her. She feels like she needs to change her opinion to fit with Riley, so she'll like her, and she never quite feels enough.
Does someone want to read the next one? Thank you. Kai, go for it.
When Naomi was deciding what classes to take, she imagined how Riley would react to her choices. Last year, Riley had made her feel bad for taking an art class instead of volleyball. So this year, she signed up for volleyball so Riley would approve of it. When she told Riley about it, Riley still made her feel low and said volleyball wasn't cool anymore, and this year everyone was taking art.
Yes, and then Amna, do you wanna read the next paragraph?
Yeah. Although it's exhausting, Naomi doesn't want to give up, trying to win Riley's approval because she's sure if she tries harder, she'll get it right and Naomi will accept her.
Yes, thank you guys for reading that. I really appreciate it. So what do we notice in on this? What do we think? Is this healthy, not healthy? What do we think about it?
That's not healthy.
Explain why, or a point, maybe just a point why it's not healthy.
Because Riley making Naomi feel really bad about herself.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to make someone feel bad. Absolutely. Anyone else? What healthy, unhealthy? What do we think about this relationship? Would we want to be in a friendship like this? Mishai, you said unhealthy. You want to explain a little bit more why?
Sure. It's unhealthy because when she didn't agree or didn't want her to go to art, that's when she started being mean. And then she sacrificed what she wanted for her and still was being mean and still act like she didn't care.
Yes.
And that's not right.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. That's super important. Be kind of belittling, right? And making her question things. Yes. Thank you, Mishaya. Anyone else want to speak to what that relationship, why it was unhealthy, and then maybe how we can change that to kind of end this chat? Adriana, I see your hands up.
It's very toxic.
Yeah. How do you think we would change that?
It's toxic because if you have a friend that's going to tell you that and you're trying to show her like you're trying to be better, it makes no sense. You should do what you want to do and not listen to your friend. Like if your friend is telling you that, you should just let them be and find a new friend. Because with me, I don't talk to a lot of people, but I have a very open mindset. And if someone is giving one of my friends something or is just saying something about someone that I won't even know, I would have a voice and say, you shouldn't talk about somebody you don't even know like that. Because you will never know their struggle or what they're doing because of you just think, oh, it's okay to talk about somebody. No, you don't know their struggle. Don't talk about somebody if you do not know them.
Yes, beautifully said. Yes, we do. Thank you, Adriana. That was wonderful. We do not know people's struggles, right? So as a friend, we need to support how they're feeling and those struggles that we don't even know. That is what a good relationship is. Yes. Thank you so much. That was really important. Really quickly, Amna, you have your hand up. Would you like to add to that? And the chat is also great as well. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. What was the question again?
Why was this a unhealthy relationship, and what would you do to change that relationship, or what do you think is needed?
Oh. Well, what I would do is I would just ask to like start over our relationship, like No laugh. Start over the relationship and just like talk about stuff that I know will make my friend happy, knowing that they're mad at me. So talk about something that will make them really happy. And try my best to make them feel happy, so then they will start to be like, oh, so we're still friends. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, that's a good point. We want to make our friends happy, but also like you have to be happy in the relationship too, right? So sometimes it's about that equality. If you can talk to them and be happy with them and they can respect that as well, then that's a good relationship. Absolutely. Amna, really quickly, I see that your hand's up. Did you want to add?
Yeah.
Okay.
As I was saying, so like it's very unhealthy, obviously, because her friend is judging her decisions of what she likes to do, and telling her not to do anything. Telling her not to do that. It's definitely not something that her friend should have opinion on, because like if you want to do something, do it, and it's definitely unhealthy.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you all for sharing. That was good. Everything you all said was fantastic. Thanks for talking with me about all of that. Your points were amazing. Everyone had some really good things to say, and I hope you can kind of reflect on your own relationships and think about what you need.
Wait, is that it?
For me, I'm going to pass it on to whoever's next.
Okay, I was just like,
I would love to chat more. I would love to chat more, but that's all my time. I already went over because our conversation was so good.
This conversation.
Yeah, I was just like, no, it can't end. It can't.
Oh, well, thank Miss Gabrielle. A round of applause. Thank you for facilitating that. Thank you so much, everybody. The conversation that we have had, I am blown away. And I hope we can take some really key points about what we want in a healthy relationship, okay? And being able to identify things that are unhealthy. So, it has been, I hope you've learned something, right? I hope you were able to take away something. I'm so ecstatic. Thank you guys so much for being here and sharing this with Girls Inc., which is just, amazing. Like I said, we have programming, we do after school, and I know you guys know Miss Crystal in the high school. So, if you haven't been to our program, we welcome you. So with that being said, Miss Marnie, I don't know if the counselors had anything in addition that you guys wanted to say, but thank you so much for having us. Or Miss Jennifer, either or.
So we could go now. No, I was just going to say thank you so much to Girls Inc. for hosting such a great conversation about relationships. I hope it's just the start for all of us having these conversations and coming together. It's so awesome to see so many familiar faces that I miss. And it's just great to come together as a community and be able to have these conversations that we all miss so much. So I hope everybody has an amazing break. And thank you so much for showing up today. If you still have classes, it's almost 1:05. So if you have a class next, you can have a little break and treat yourself. Okay. Thank you so much, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Miss Wilma. Miss
Bye.
Bye.
That's it. The whole thing's ended.